NBA media has been reporting a Russell Westbrook trade is impossible. He makes way too much money, he's past his prime. Then the Rockets called up one NBA reporter, Mark Stein, and they were like, yeah, it's not impossible. We would take him if the Lakers make it worth our while. So that means a John Wall for Russell Westbrook trade, plus an asset, either Talen Horton-Tucker or Kendrick Nunn or draft picks. If this trade happens, Russell Westbrook will officially become the next Allen Iverson, which is actually tragic, and I'll explain exactly what that means later in the video. But what the Rockets are doing is taking advantage of the Lakers' pain. The Rockets know that LA regrets trading for Russ, but they want to see how bad they regret it. According to ESPN stats and info, this is the first time since LeBron's rookie year that his team is below 500 at the 43-game mark. If LeBron panics, then the Rockets could take advantage. But is John Wall actually an upgrade over Russ? And what would that trade even look like? Will this trade actually happen? That all depends on how bad the Lakers want to get rid of Russ. They won a championship in the bubble with LeBron, AD, and a totally different group of role players. Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Alex Caruso, and that's a totally different group than when LeBron got to the Lakers. Normally he leaves his team for a better situation, but not in LA. He left Cleveland for Miami in 2010 because they had D Wade and got Chris Bosh. He left them to go back to Cleveland because they had Kyrie and got Kevin Love. Both times he won a title, but the Lakers move was not about basketball. He wanted to be a mogul and move to Hollywood and make Space Jam 2. I lost a lot of respect for LeBron as a basketball player when he went to the Lakers. But his agent Rich Paul doesn't really care about respect. He was willing to tell Woj AD wanted a trade in the middle of the Pelicans season. It ruined that franchise, and LA got AD that offseason. But that's what makes me think that a Russell Westbrook trade could actually happen. LeBron has proven over and over he will do anything to win. Since he went to Miami, there have been 44 different trades with LeBron on the roster. 11 in Miami, 27 with Cleveland, and 6 with the Lakers. Now I'm gonna put the insane list of names on the screen, but they include Andrew Wiggins, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Derrick Rose, and even poor fan favorite Matthew Dellavedova. Who does that? And I know we all like to make fun of LeGM, but it's kind of hard to argue when you look at his success. But when you look at that list, no one is as respected as Westbrook. Does LeBron really care about his own legacy enough to sacrifice Russ?
You told a group of kids at a skills camp that you are chasing the ghost of this guy who played in Chicago. What did you mean?
I meant in the simple fact that that's my personal inspiration. That's what drives me. I'm chasing that greatness, that how great that ghost was. That's always been my goal since I got in the NBA. When I was 18 years old, I told everyone that my favorite player was Michael Jordan. Hopefully I can get to that point.
I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world.
Yeah, he would. But is trading for John Wall the right move? The offense has actually been a lot better since LeBron moved to center. They had to do it because AD got injured, but it's opened things up for Russ. He's taken a lot more shots in the paint because LeBron can stretch the floor, and Russ is turning the ball over a lot less. Defense and rebounding, obviously an issue, but the bigger question is how will things change when AD gets back? The Lakers' success actually depends on AD. He needs to be healthy and have the right attitude. You know, play like a prime superstar is supposed to play. I don't actually... this is gonna kind of torpedo this video, but I don't actually care if it's Russ or John Wall. The difference maker will be Anthony Davis. But the trade deadline is coming up, and they only have till February 10th to decide if Russ is gonna work. So far, it hasn't. He constantly gets lost on defense, letting his man beat the team. His field goal attempts are down, but he still takes too many bad shots. Russ shooting off the dribble should never happen. I like when he cuts or takes corner threes, but all of his off the dribble shots should go to Malik Monk or Carmelo Anthony. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer perfectly painted the picture of other Lakers that have evolved. Dwight Howard went from a star center to a role player. Carmelo was the man in Denver and New York, but he's humbled himself to survive in the league. Maybe Russ can't change, and that's why Frank Vogel benched him at the end of the Pacers game. What I don't want to see is Russ become the next Allen Iverson. AI won an MVP in Philly. He was their franchise player. Got to the finals, but they traded him to Denver to play with Melo. People were concerned, can they share the ball? But they got to the playoffs as a 6 seed and faced the Spurs in round 1. AI and Melo combined for 61 points to win that opening game, but San Antonio won the next 4. In year 2, they came up against Kobe's 08 Lakers and got swept. So 3 games into the next season, they traded him to the Pistons. But Detroit wanted him to come off the bench, and AI literally said, "I would rather retire." So they traded him a few months later. The Grizzlies also wanted him to come off the bench the next year, so after another short run in Philly, he just quit. That is super depressing for an all-time great player, but it could happen to Russ. If LA trades for John Wall, let's forget about like the money side of it because they're pretty much the same. This is all down to basketball. Bottom line, they are both limited players, inefficient shooters, both average handling in the pick and roll, but Wall does bring a different skill set. In 2015, he was all NBA defense. Obviously, he has declined since then, but that is more than Russ can say. John Wall is also a better catch and shoot player. For his career, he hits 38% of wide open catch and shoot threes. But most of all, he's just a different look. The Lakers could admit, this mix of players just isn't working, and we want to change it up. But it will cost them. The Rockets will demand an asset for their rebuild. Here's what the Lakers have to offer. Talen Horton-Tucker, Kendrick Nunn, their 2027 first or multiple second-round picks. The Lakers have already tried to package THT Nunn and picks to get Jeremy Grant from Detroit, but that's not going to happen. So this may be their only option. And I wish the Rockets had been playing John Wall this year instead of just having him on the bench so we'd have a better idea of what kind of player he still is. But John Wall says he's in the best shape of his life, which I have no idea whether or not to believe that. What I think will happen is AD gets back and LA sees if things can turn around. If they don't, then I would not be surprised if they trade Russ and an asset for John Wall. LeBron is chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan's legacy, and he'll do anything to get there. These next few weeks with AD back in the lineup are what determines if Russ is the next AI or if he continues to ride the legacy of LeBron and gets to compete for a championship. But there is so much to talk about beyond the Lakers with the trade deadline coming up. Anthony Simons has been going off with Damian Lillard out injured, right? And so that puts the Blazers in a really weird spot. Like, who do we trade? If we want to build around Damian Lillard, maybe Anthony Simons popping off gives them a legit asset. Or it could be CJ McCollum, or it could be Norman Powell. We go through all of the options because Dame's life just got a lot more complicated. Check it out.